Yeah, wherein and you did get booted out of the game.
No.
Feels bad, man. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade LE as I do set up my screen share. It's not going to be ideal, but we will work through this. We have the Polish Zerg player. He is red, representing Team XCOM AGO. It is Elazer.
And spawning up in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player going for a Forge first. He is a little unorthodox. He is strange.
Yo, shout out to Yaku for correctly identifying what the production was. I'm sure
it took me a second.
I was worried that you weren't going to be able to spot it in the production tab or see it correctly, but yes, we do have a Forge first coming out from Strange. He is walling off Elazer from the low ground, from his expansion, and we're going to be seeing some cannons.
Thankfully, Elazer does have a little bit of an out, taking that third base location, so at least he'll have some kind of production, some way of extending the game if need be. But it shouldn't get to that point.
Yeah, we'll see where Strange goes with this, because again, this is going to be very committed. Like, he has the Forge on the high ground. He doesn't intend to expand anytime soon, so he is looking to be hyper aggressive here with his cannons, with the proxy gateway. He does have one of his gases as well. Didn't take both though, which is interesting to me, and no cybercore either.
Yeah, so I guess he's just either really committed to the cannons, or, well, I mean, that's the only way out, isn't it? It's the only thing he can produce, cannons and zealots.
Yeah, there we go. The Cybercore finally gets thrown down at home, which means now he can proxy a Robo, he can proxy a Stargate once the Cybercore is able to finish up. Meanwhile, again, Strange is still only on one base. Another cannon is being thrown down, has that Zealot, and is going to be able to slowly chip away at this natural base.
Slowly but surely, and there are no defenses up there just yet. But thankfully, Elazer does have a high ground spine at least. So
yeah, I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest. Like this proxy from Strange is taking so long. Like I'm not 100% committed by this. Like Elazer, he takes control of the high ground. Roach Warren's already done. We have Roaches on the way, and he's gonna slowly be able to get rid of this gateway at least. And it's gonna take a while for the Robo to finish up.
Really will, and by then, how many other units is Elazer gonna have? It's already getting a couple of Roaches. A Ravager is on the way too. It's a Ravager, right? I guess correctly from the tab. I saw some orange, and I saw some orange pixels. I was like, "That's a Ravager, right?"
Yeah. We got some Ravagers up. We're gonna be able to bile down again this gateway. Oh, actually, he goes straight for the cannons. I love it. Gonna be wasting so much of that shield battery energy.
Yeah, and again, no Nexus over here, so battery overcharge is not going to be available. Energy is actually a resource that Strange has to manage now.
Oh yeah, 100%, especially in this scenario. Like, those shield batteries are so valuable here. Meanwhile, cannon slowly going down, the gateway is as well. This hatchery is still standing, by the way. The Zealot from earlier wasn't really focusing it down, so it could come into play. There we go, Lings are being produced.
Yeah, unfortunately for Strange, it seems that Zealot was going back and forth a little bit. Is that immortal? Okay, it's not stuck. Hard to tell for that angle.
And this is what I'm worried about. One, the Adept committed to Shade. 2 drones went down, but the Adept did fall. We only have 1 cannon left, and 2 of these shield batteries are already out of energy.
Yeah, it's really not going to take much for Elazer just to overpower this from here. He's got, what, 5 Ravagers? Even sending one across the map as well, because he can.
Yeah, because why the hell not? Meanwhile, the Immortal's already taking a little bit of damage. The Immortal should be able to take down this spine. Never mind. Does pull it back.
Yeah, uprooted and reborrowed just at the last second, but even if it deals with the spine, there's still all of these Ravagers to contend with. Show me how good you can juggle!
Oh my god, we shall see. The Lings are coming in from the backside as well. They don't have Ling speed, but he's trying to focus down as many of these shield batteries as possible.
Anyway. Yeah, the pylons are gonna get taken out. Everything should just about be depowered. Two immortals at least should come out. No!
Wow, exactly.
Robo's just barely not in range.
Yeah, one of the immortals, both immortals just barely get saved by the War Prism, but as you said, the low ground does get taken down. The hatchery survived, and Elazer, he's already across the map. He's almost killed the Cybercore, mate.
Shield battery is just way too out of range for any battery overcharges. Yeah, I'm looking at the army supply difference right now, like 42 to 10. Elazer can just counterattack with everything he's got and win the game. I don't care how well Strange is able to juggle.
Exactly, and part of me is like, it's such a shame because for the most part, Strange got to execute the build that he wanted. Like, it didn't feel incredibly efficient the way that he did do it, but like, I mean, the cannons got up, the proxy got up, like, for the most part, Strange was left alone. But I do think that a part of like that collapse of his outpost, of his proxy, was because he did kind of allow this hatchery to remain and the larva to be utilized as well.
Part of it, it did definitely make it a lot easier for Elazer coming in with that flank of Zerglings, but in the end, I kind of feel like Strange just didn't really have a plan B. I mean, he's getting a Void Ray out now.
Yeah.
It seems like a bit of a panicked reaction.
Yeah, I'm just surprised he didn't commit to the high ground, right? Like, because immediately that pylon went down on the high ground, if you recall, like, there was no high ground vision, the cannon fell as well, like, Elazer really got control of the situation incredibly easily, it felt, or quickly, or both.
Definitely.
So a bit of a feels bad, man. I mean, Strange, he's not dead yet, but he's in a really rough place. Like, these immortals have a lot to do. Like, clearing creep is not enough. He needs to, I don't know, maybe catch a couple of queens, maybe get some workers as well. Again, just has to do whatever he can to close that gap and catch up, because he's trying to transition, trying to expand.
Yeah, as much as it seems like Elazer is kind of giving Strange some time, Strange needs even more than what Elazer is giving him, than what Elazer is generously allowing him to have.
Oh god, exactly, because Elazer, he's droning up, he's getting his third base, he's already got his lair going. If he wanted to, he could go into Mutas, he can go into a Spire, and then there is just literally zero answer to Spire. I mean, there's two Void Rays, I guess, question mark.
Two Void Rays have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Elazer goes in for a scout, and well, I guess the Void Rays did something.
Yeah, they killed the Overseer. Cybercore finally gets rebuilt. It looks like he kind of slipped Strange's mind a little bit there, so he was unable to warp in any Stalkers or anything like that. Right now, I guess my eyes are on Elazer. Like, you know, is he going to transition his tech, or is he just going to go for a big, massive Road Ravager Queen push?
He's actually going to get more bases up.
Ah.
Which is interesting. I guess Elazer really just doesn't want to take any chances.
Up! Oh god, Force!
Is good, am I right? Forces a recall out, but I think that Warp Prism actually lives!
It just barely survived, mate. Oh my god. Strange was stuck in such an awful position. Thankfully, he does evacuate, and now I'm getting a little bit worried. We have a second Stargate on the way. +1 is on the way. The Fleet Beacon as well! We're going full Skytoss. Now, Strange isn't back in this, but like, this is definitely a way. Like, Elazer cannot let this happen.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Strange had a 1% chance of winning the game after the failed cannon rush. Now, it's about 5%.
I was about to say 5% as well, yeah. Oh god, obviously it's not going to be easy. Obviously, like, the SAG defense is incredibly lacking here. The third base and the natural are incredibly vulnerable. When Elazer does push out, like, there honestly isn't much to stop him. And he should be pushing out relatively soon. Like, we got a lot of
+1.
Yeah, exactly. I guess maybe just waiting for +1, I guess.
She doesn't necessarily need, but yeah, again, why take any chances? Interesting choice getting the Infestation Pit a little earlier on, though.
Yeah, we already have the Infestation Pit. Hive is on the way, so he's going to be going straight into Vipers. We have a Spire. I love this. Basically, what Elazer is doing is that he recognizes that Skytoss is on the way, and he is preparing for it. So he's not going to be in this weird scenario where he's stuck with Queen Road Ravager, right? And then suddenly carries up here. Like, nah, mate, he's going to be ready for it.
Yeah, cover all your bases. As in this scenario, it's almost a personality test, isn't it? There are two options for the Zerg player. Kill the Protoss player outright, or be safe and be able to counter what the Protoss player is going to go for eventually.
I mean, part of me kind of likes this, but it's also, it feels like an evil thing to do. Like,
it is. You're playing with your food.
Yeah, Elazer, he is elongating this game, and he is wearing Strange. Like Strange cannot feel good right now. Like, he knows, like, there's like this sinking feeling inside of him that he's like, oh god, like maybe I could do something, but.
After a while, he's gonna have a little bit of hope. He's like, actually, I'm stable. I might be able to lose something, and then Elazer's just gonna come in with his entire army.
Exactly.
It's like, nope.
Elazer, he wants to give him a scrap of hope and then just take it away from him. Just yank it away, mate. Oh, God.
Listen, Elazer has had to wait a long time for his match, alright?
True, yeah.
He wants to have some fun before the game's end.
He's getting his money's worth, mate. He's like, yo, get those Twitch ads going. Let's go. Oh god. And this is what we were talking about, you know, Passing Glance is on the way, Greater Spire, +2, Infestors, eventually the Vipers are already out as well. Like, he is ready for a maxed out Skytos army, or he's getting ready for it, and Strange, he's struggling to hit like 100 supply.
Elazer's twice the army supply right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just about twice, look.
He's just warming up, mate, you know?
Pretty much. Watch Elazer not go for a big push, but instead go for some little run-bys to get so he can get a more high-tech army.
That would be so sad if Strange dies without a big fight. If he just dies to run-bys, like...
If he dies to 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it's always brutal to see, but it does happen. It does happen. Happened yesterday. Happens from time to time. Mama ship's on the way. -400, -400. Let's go. The biggest thing that we're lacking right now for Strange is splash damage. Like, this is like, if he was able to get like disruptors out, like I would say, yo, that 5% chance, it's up to like 30 or something. You know, if he's able to get some decent AOE.
I'd agree with that. There's just some way of at least prolonging the game a little bit. At least some way of keeping Elazer back.
Yeah, to help zone him out. We always talk about disruptors and how, you know, sometimes you only need one. Against queens, you need two. But if you have a lot of disruptors, like, you can make some magic happen there. They are the great equalizers, of course. We're in a scenario where Elazer can just remax after he loses an army, but still, you know, Strange can have a fighting chance.
Exactly. If he gets the most perfect purification Novas, then, you know, maybe his chances are bumped up to 37.
Is Elazer really gonna wait and force Strange to push into him? Is he like? I'm looking at all.
Elazer just wants to get all of his tech out.
Look at the spore forest on both ends of the map, mate. He's like, okay, come to me. Even here in the center, it's like, really? Obviously you can be offensive with this if you have the creep shred. You can just bring your spores forward, but I don't know if Elazer's gonna do that.
Well, he is setting up a couple of run-bys now, so yeah, he does kind of want to push Strange into him. He's spreading his creep, though. He's making sure that his creep is going to be at least over halfway across the map. See if he's able to uproot and rebar all those spore crawlers.
We'll see, because we were joking before, because I assumed that Elazer was going to attack when he was maxed out. And he was maxed out like 4 minutes ago. And instead Elazer's like, okay, he's kind of doing the Stefano approach, except without the run-bys. Finally though, he's
throwing him out now. Yeah,
very true.
I guess it was more of a case of Elazer didn't have the opportunity to run by because Strange was totaling up in 3 bases for the longest time. Hey, look at that! Strange is finally overtaking the army count.
Yeah. That he has. I imagine Elazer, now his goal is going to be just to deny the 4th base for as long as possible. He's already got Lings in position on both ends, borrowed even. And yeah. Whenever he tries, that's when it's going to be go time for Elazer.
Here's what frightens me, Light. We're not there yet, but we're getting close to a point that the players are starting to be even.
Yeah.
When it comes to like resources, supply, and whatnot. We're not quite there yet. Again, Elazer is rocket light speed ahead when it comes to the income. He's got much more of a bank.
Oh, this is disgusting.
He is slowing down. He's spending all of his drones to get a higher army supply and also to get more spore crawlers and laser.
Mate, 21 spores are being made right now on top of the spores that we already had. Elazer, I don't know, like, we don't cast enough of Elazer's EVPs. Maybe the people in the chat can help us out. Is this just his approach to this matchup? Does he's just like, you push into me, mate?
Who traumatized Elazer in a PvC that now he just never attacks?
I'm gonna blame Showtime. I'm gonna
Probably, yeah.
I don't know if it is, but I'm gonna blame
Yeah,
him.
no, I would. That actually sounds about right. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I believe it. It's believable to me.
Oh god, we'll see. Okay, here we go. Elazer, he's finally pushing out with his ultras and his ravagers. Again, these are very expendable units here. No spellcasters. He wants to get rid of them. He wants to trade as best he can.
And he gets a rowboat facility, a couple of disruptors, try to get amplification overs out. Keeps Elazer at bay, but damage has already been dealt, and as you were saying, these are units that Elazer wants to get rid of. He's building up a bank. He wants to remax on better units.
Yeah, the problem is that, sure, he's like trading and all this stuff, but Strange did get his 4th up. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, and especially if
he's maxed out.
he is maxed out. He can still take a great fight. Can he amongst all these spores though? This is the thing, like, Elazer wanted this to happen. He wanted Strange to push into his defensive position. But is it gonna work out for him?
Yeah, is Strange even gonna do so? He actually doesn't have too many disruptors. It's gonna take a long time to cut through this spore forest, and in that time the Vipers come out.
Mate, the Novas go off. 5 Queens go down immediately. Finally, the Infestors are coming in. Finally, we have those microbial shrouds. Even a power bomb on the Void Rays.
And it does chip away at the carriers, it seems, but not much beyond that. Strange cannot stay here and fight, not through all of those microbial shrouds. One good fungal is just about all Elazer needs.
Ooh, and
is he gonna get it?
The fungal does connect the chain fungal as well. So many of these carriers are stasis. We do see a recall, and just barely keeps the carriers alive.
And that was the fight Elazer wanted. Did it go the way he wanted? Maybe not. But at least he was able to pick off a couple of high-tech units.
Yeah, he did. He did. If we look at the units lost here, he got 6 Void Rays. Didn't kill a single carrier. No, no, he did not get a single carrier. We didn't see any abducts. That was what was missing for me. Like there were no yoinks into the spore forest. That's kind of what you want. To allow all these spores to come into play. And I'm worried because now there's a massive dent here where the spores used to be. We do see that Elazer is trying to rebuild it, but like this could be a weak location later on.
Really could. I mean, it's a weak location right now, but Strange doesn't really want to push into that after taking that many losses.
Yeah, 6 Void Rays, man. Phew.
Yeah, oh man,
it's insane. How are
you ever gonna rebuild those?
Oh, he's already rebuilt them.
In fairness, though, Strange doesn't quite have the economy that Elazer does, so I guess it does make sense that he's a little bit more cautious, a little bit more conservative when it comes to his army.
That he is. Oh boy, but I am still feeling very nervous about this because again, Elazer was in a game-winning position and he allowed this to happen. He wanted this to happen, I think is a better way to put it. And we'll see if that's gonna hurt him later on. You know, another ultra run by. You know. At the same time, though, Strange, he wants to get a base, maybe more.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be something. He's not expanding himself. But he might not need to if he's able to end things. Remember when we said Strange had like a 1% chance of winning the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, that increased over time, mate. Oh my god.
It really did. He's not favored by any means, but now it's 50-50.
Yeah, exactly, as we do have fungals landing on the interceptors and some of these carriers, minus 400 as the mothership does get picked up here. At the same time, those ultras did take out the natural base.
Yeah, there's no recall available for Strange. He used it up earlier on, so this very slow Skytoss army is going to get even slower thanks to the fungals.
Oh god,
Elazer is just decimating Strange's economy and he can't do anything about it.
Exactly, and now the Corruptors are chasing down every single one of these carriers. Is there enough? It looks like there is not. Unfortunately, the Infestors, they're out of energy. They're not a part of this at all.
Is Strange gonna come back again? No, he can't. He can't.
I mean, Strange is gonna be able to clean up these ultras. Sure, the ultras, they got a natural base, but honestly, there wasn't really much mining going on here anyway, so it wasn't the biggest of deals. Meanwhile, Elazer is the one who I feel came out worse. He lost all his spellcasters, 3 Vipers and 4 Infestors.
He did come out worse, but can Elazer afford to come out worse?
Yes.
I'd say so.
Nah,
absolutely,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
How many bases does he have now? Like 7? He's about to get an 8th? Question mark?
Yeah, he's got a lot of bases. He's got a massive bank. Strange does not. Strange, he is out of minerals. He's almost out of gas. So, Elazer,
he's spent all of his minerals, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Elazer, because of how greedy he was earlier on, because of the situation that he put himself, like, he can still afford to trade like this. For a couple more rounds. Not forever. That's what we're concerned about. Not forever.
But he is starting to move his Spore Crawlers forward. He wants to take the fight to Strange now.
Hey,
he knows that Strange only has 1 fight left in him.
Exactly. This is what we wanted. Meanwhile, those Infestors and Vipers have been rebuilt. They have the energy. They're getting ready to fungal, and the fungals do connect.
Yeah, pretty decent one. A couple of Void Rays and a lot of Interceptors as well. Strange will pull away once he sees all those Spore Crawlers. But that creep, man, is getting closer and closer to his bases. The Ultras break free, and they ravage that base.
Yeah, this is the problem. That Strange, his army isn't necessarily big enough to defend multiple locations at once. Like, this is still a terrifying army, but the Ultras, they just keep dipping in, keep taking more bases, and Strange is being starved out.
And the Ultras go in, the Ultras go out. Can't quite explain that. Another real good fungal on a ton of carriers. Can he get the Parabomb on top of that? He does, and all the Spore Crawlers are just underneath them too.
Yeah, exactly. Even a Microbial Shroud blanketing the entire ground army as well. We do see a decent split from Strange, though. The Parasitic Bombs didn't deal as much damage as they needed to, and the carriers are breaking through. At the same time, though, the Ultras took out the 3rd. Now there is only 1 mining base left for Strange.
When that's taken out, that's it. Strange will have nothing but these carriers left. And eventually, Elazer's going to be able to deal with them.
Yeah, and Strange is making a decision right now. He is not returning. He will not clean this up. He is going for the base raid. He wants to kill the army.
I can't believe the cannon rush that failed brings us into a base trade at 23 minutes.
Well, he's trying to make the base trade happen. He's trying to force his way through, but there are so many spores and the Microbial Shrouds as well on top of this. Like, he just can't do it.
Yeah, Strange is just about giving up. He just wants to have a fight. He knows he has an army that he doesn't necessarily want to give up. GG is called, though. Elazer won the game in 5 minutes. And then again at 23.
GG. Well played, Elazer. I was so concerned that it was going to slip away from him. Again, Strange, he was trading very well there. Oh, as I do have to end the screen share.
Yep.
But yeah, I was very happy that Elazer was able to hold on there. I was like, mate, don't throw.
It was a really bizarre game. But also kind of bizarre from the side of Strange. I'm honestly kind of impressed because, again, it really felt like he didn't have any contingency plan aside from the initial cannon rush. It seemed not getting gas early on, delaying the Cybercore. There's no way he wanted the game to last longer than the Zealot stage, but somehow he was able to make it last all the way to Skytoss versus Hive.
I mean, that was on Elazer, though.
Like, it really was.
Yeah. And I do want to say that Strange almost brought it back there. Again, like, he was fighting more efficiently. But as we saw, he just couldn't defend his bases, unfortunately. He was unwilling to turn around and maybe be a little bit... And slow things down, I think is probably the best way to put it. Because he wanted to be aggressive, so because of that, he was just leaving his bases exposed.
Yeah, well, he had to do something, right? He had to do something to slow down the economy of Elazer, which was at that point leagues ahead of Strange.
Yeah. It was. And with that, Elazer does take a lead in this series, and now we are diving into game number 2. Hopefully this time we are both able to load in. Boy.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed, my Ethernet cables. My power cords.
Oh yeah.
No, that's actually a it's actually a guitar thing. Never mind.
Oh god, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed we can get in here. If you don't manage to load in, you may have to, at least in between series, you may have to like restart your PC or something. I don't know if something's wrong.
I restarted my client in between. You know, I decided not to run unit preloader because I was like, all right, cannon rush, it failed. That's it. That's gonna. There's no time for me to run that. And
that's fair.
Maybe I should have.
That's fair. That's fair. Especially because it seems like someone may get booted again. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Oh god.
Went black for a sec, but now we're back.
It's not a good. That's not a good sign.
But now we're back. The loading bar is moving.
Oh, that is a good sign. That is a good sign. Here we go.
It just stopped moving.
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. As we are about to load in, hopefully everything is good. I do know that latency wise, like we aren't like forcing any kind of lag or anything like that. Just need to connect to the game. That is all.
Oh, okay.
We made it. It's happening.
I got really worried for a sec, I can tell you. As we load into game number 2 here on Oxide. LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The red Zerg player coming down from the land of Poland. He is going to be representing Team XCOM AGO. He is Elazer.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Russian Protoss player. He is blue, representing himself. It is Strange.
That last game was very strange, wasn't it? Alright, that's it. I've peaked. I've achieved comedy.
Hey, have you? But yeah, I see the chat reacting as well. Yeah, I mean, what Elazer did, it did remind me a lot of Stefano's style, where it's like you just expand, you slow things down, you secure your side of the map, and just keep consistently go for run bys and just starve out the Protoss.
Yeah, I think the thing that made it so odd wasn't necessarily what Elazer went for, just the fact that Elazer, of all players, went for it. We know Elazer to be more than capable of being aggressive. He's arguably, when it comes to the EU Zerg players, kind of on the Rainer scale of things, right? Where he does like being a bit more aggressive. But in that game, again, I guess because Elazer was waiting well for his match, he thought, no. We can't end the game in 5 minutes. No.
Yeah, it's also a thing where I would say Elazer was known for his aggressiveness, but this was like 2-3 years ago. Like,
that's fair.
Like, current meta is very different. Unfortunately,
it is.
ZVP can slow down to a crawl nowadays. And this could just be his preferred method. Like, if he sees an opportunity to get ahead and get control of the map, he just sits back, locks everything down, gets that spore forest going early on, and he just accepts his fate, mate. It's not pretty, but it's peak ZVP, mate. Like,
the things we do to win.
Yeah. Aye. Meanwhile, it is one of those things we were talking about in the last game where it's gonna feel bad if you're Strange, right? Like, his heart must have sunk when his like proxy didn't work and it was defended, it got cleaned up, and he's like trying to come back, trying his hardest, and
there was a chance for him, a very slight chance for him somewhere in the middle of that game when he was able to remax, but then he ran into the wall of spores.
Yeah,
and that's, I think, when. I mean, we all kind of knew that there really wasn't a whole lot Strange could have done. Elazer could have still throwed from that position, but was he really gonna?
Yeah, I was concerned if he wasn't going to like relocate those spores. Thankfully he did though, right? Like he brought them all forward. They were all a part of the fight. We saw Twilight Council opening, but it was not for Blink, not for now, as he goes into the Dark Shrine.
Immediately. But Elazer's already getting spore crawlers.
Yeah, he's getting one for safety. He doesn't know what his opponent is up to, but because he's up against a Protoss player and because he hasn't been able to sneak into the main base for a scout, it's like, yo, could be a Stargate opener, could be an Oracle. Like, I need to prepare for this just in case.
I think he might have seen the Twilight Council. No, he has
No.
zero vision in the main base.
Yeah, that's why we have one Spore in the natural, and we have 2 Queens at each other base, again, to fend off that Oracle, if it was an Oracle opening. Obviously, we know it's not, but, you know, at least one base has detection.
Yeah, he's gonna have to evacuate everything to that base if need be. Elazer going for the Roach Warren.
Yeah, that
he shouldn't have as slow of a game this time.
Yeah, in case it is a Glaive Adept opening, he will have access to roaches to deal with those Glaive Adepts. Again, he's still working off of incomplete information, but he's covering all his corners. He's getting a Wave of Lings, getting another Spore up as well. She should be good. And yo, Strange is committed.
He really is. Pulling a bit of a classic here? Question mark?
Yeah, going for Blink on his DTs. War Prism is on the way, so because of this, even though there is detection, like, DTs can still overwhelm what Elazer has.
Especially since the lair isn't done yet for Elazer. Does get a bit of a nice pick off here with the Adepts. And he has seen that Stalker in the wall. No Void Race either. Elazer, at this point, has to know that it's not Stargate, but doesn't quite know what's coming his way.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate. There was no shield battery ready for this, so the Stalker goes down, forced to throw down a full wall off. Strange is contained to 2 bases, but the War Prism is going across the map. But, God, he has to be so careful. He has to make sure he doesn't get scouted, and there's still potential for him to deal some damage, but the lair is about to finish up, and there will be mobile detection. Oh, God.
And Overseer should just about be number 1 in the list of things that Lazer's getting. Full-on Ling Flood coming in here. Yeah. There is a shield battery and overcharge as well, but that's keeping... and that's doing a real good job of keeping the Adept alive, but Strange, he really has to... There we go, targets down the Cyber Core.
Yeah,
will
thankfully.
At least be able to live, but...
He does throw down a secondary wall as well. Meanwhile, the DTs, that's a lot of DTs get across the map. Mate, they're about to delete this base.
Yeah, there's a Spore Crawler there, and I think Elazer might have caught a glimpse of them with the detection.
Blink is done.
Blink is finished up, and that Spore Crawler will go down. 0 detection by this base. No Overseer yet. There's still a lot that Strange can do. 1 gateway goes down, but that is it. Elazer has to come back home to defend.
Yeah, exactly. The 3rd base is going to go down. There was some defensive DTs as well, so that's why Strange was able to hold on his side of the map. And he gets a base, and now Elazer is knocked down to 2 bases.
Versus a 2-base Protoss. This can be terrifying. But I'm just looking at all these links, like...
Yeah, like, the problem is that we have detection. We have pneumatized carapace on the way, so Overlord Speed is on the way. Elazer was intending to end the game then and there. The game is progressing, so Strange is in a decent position as long as he's able to keep this army at home. Oh no, the weapons... Oh, Jesus.
Did just about get in range of the Queens, but a very quick reaction from Strange will save that Warp Prism as well as these 2 Immortals? Question mark?
Archons.
Archons,
Yeah, the DTs were morphed into those Archons. We have some Archons at home as well. This will help against all those Lings. Meanwhile, Elazer forced to double expand, but I don't know if he's going to hold on to this base.
Yeah, it's not looking too likely. You got cancel. Cancels at the last second. So at least he doesn't lose too many resources here, and he can just remake that hatchery. Early infestation pit, once again from Elazer.
Yeah, that we do, but we may not even be seeing Skytoss from Strange as he's just pumping out more Immortals. There we go, 4 gateways get thrown down for that Chargelot Archon. And Strange looking much better here. Elazer, obviously, he may have inflated supply, but again, it's inflated because of these roaches, and Elazer doesn't have the best army. He is going straight up to that hive, though.
Indeed, he is. A Spire gets thrown down behind that, too. Most likely going to be a Grave Spire eventually coming up from Elazer, which can fare very, very well against Charged Archon. He needs to realize what's coming his way, though.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be opposed to harassing mutas either. Not an overcommitment, but, you know, maybe like 6 to 8 mutas, you just send them across the map, these mineral lines are exposed. Sure, they don't do well against Archons, but Archons aren't going to be at home defending. They're going to be a part of the push. Speaking of, Strange, yo, it's go time. Nicely timed with +1.
It is about to finish up, and this is a very beefy army, but it's also a pretty small army. There are a lot of Archons, which can help out, but 1 good Concave. is just about all Elazer's really gonna need. I don't think he's gonna get it though.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, there's a massive Link run by at the third base, and at the same time, the Link's actually snuck into the main. Oh my god. Strange, please. He's losing workers all over the place.
That he is. Now he's forced to get some equalizing damage done. That base goes down.
Yeah, exactly. The third base does fall. Now the Lings are trying to bust into the natural. I mean, they could just walk in. The wall is not a wall. And now the main armies are facing each other. Strange, sure, he gets a hatchery, but he needs so much more than that.
Elazer is just so confident from this point. He's fine with losing his bases because he knows he can, 1, cripple Strange economically, and 2, still have enough supply to take out this army. Does have to be careful of how he positions it, though.
That he does. Meanwhile, Elazer, it looks like he shouldn't break through. He's trying, though. I love this Elazer expanding towards the top left, because why the hell not? He kept the majority of his workers alive, which was impressive, to say the least. And Strange, he's backing off. He's going back home.
Yeah, well, there's really not much else he can do. He did take out 2 bases, and even though Elazer was able to evacuate them, he was able to double expand behind that. We're still in a ZVP where both players are on even bases for now.
Yeah, something that's concerning is that this third base from Elazer isn't saturated at all. The workers from earlier, yeah, they went to the natural. There we go. Finally, they're being main-arted over, so at least Elazer's on 3 base economy. But again, he just has Roach Ravager, and you're right, he did just go straight into that Greater Spire.
There we go. Brute Lords, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
one way of immobilizing the Archons.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time for Brute Lords to come out, though.
It will. But time is on Elazer's side for now. Has been helping him practice and whatnot.
I mean, Strange isn't 2 base all in. Like, he did not rebuild that third. Like, he is looking to straight up end the game, which is concerning because I don't know if he will. Meanwhile, the first 2 Brute Lords are already on the way. I didn't even realize that a couple of Corruptors were already morphed out.
They were. Strange is starting to push in, but Elazer wants to set up a bit of a surround. Strange is being so cautious, so patient with how he moves in.
Yeah, but I don't think he he needs to be patient right now. He's gonna try and force his way in, but there's still so much Zerg. A massive Ling run by into the main base of Strange. Force, if he wasn't all in before, he definitely is now.
Yeah, a lot of roaches getting body blocked by the Ravagers of Elazer, but now they're finally getting into the front lines. The Brute Lords really utilizing that dead air to their advantage. There's a whole lot of effective anti-air here for Elazer. These Archons and their splash damage, man, you never want to underestimate that. Yeah,
that you do not. Meanwhile, the third base of Elazer does go down. These Spines buying a little bit of time, dealing whatever damage they can. And, now Elazer is stuck on 2 bases compared to, I guess, the 1 base of Strange. As the natural is going down. Yo, and with all these Immortal Stranges, he's forcing his way up the ramp.
He is! The Archon's actually getting their splash damage in, and the rest of the units are clearing up behind that. GG is called! Strange takes game number 2. We get our ace match.
We are getting our ace match, mate. Oh, God. It was so... I don't want to say disrespectful, but it was so bold of Elazer to tech straight up into a Greater Spire. I'm like, mate, if you're up against a ground army, lurkers are what you want, mate. Like, it's just such a more fluid transition to go Roach Ravager into Hydras into lurkers. To try and jump straight into a Greater Spire where you have to first morph in Corruptors and then the Brood Lords themselves, and the Corruptors on their own aren't helpful at all. Like, that was wild. Ugh.
It was. I'm guessing Elazer didn't expect Strange to go for a 2 base all in after taking out his third. When he went for the run by, he checked the third base location first, say. That would have put Elazer ahead.
Yeah,
if that was what Strange was going for.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Elazer, he confirmed that there was no extra third. Like, he knew that. He knew how committed Strange was there, but he he was adamant that Brood Lords were the way to go, and they killed him, mate.
Pretty much.
Oh. Wow.
All those Lings that were really messing up that base. I mean, they didn't necessarily have to either, because again, Strange was all in at that point. gonna come. And you could argue that with that many Archons, what are the Lings really gonna do, right? But still, Elazer was a hidden army, and then all of a sudden found himself on even supply with mostly Roach Ravager.
Yeah. Like, the Lings, they definitely could have helped. Would they have changed how that battle would have gone? Maybe, potentially, depending on how they were utilized, but that is neither here or there because, mate, we are going into our ace match.
I almost don't believe that we're here, but stranger things have happened before on Jagannatha LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map. Starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player from the land of Russia. He is a little odd. He is strange.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Polish Zerg player representing XCOM AGO. It is Elazer.
You know what? Good guy, Elazer. He wants to prevent any as much downtime as possible here on the C stream, so he wants to make sure that this series is the one that finishes last.
There you go. Are you saying
potentially?
Did the mainstream finish? Did it?
I'm not sure. Actually, I haven't checked.
Oh god, I'm not sure either. For those wondering, and the reason why there was an extended break after our first series is because every single series is starting at the same. Every single round, I guess, is starting at the same time. So if one stream ends early, they do have to wait until the last stream ends. And in that last round, we were all waiting for Showtime and Cyril to wrap up.
That we were. As I have just checked, it looks like the mainstream is in the ace match.
Oh, okay. Thankfully, we are synced up in that way. You know, both of us are in the ace match. And we'll see how this goes. That last game, like, to touch on it, like, Elazer, he did have a pretty solid lead for a long time there. He was respecting the army quite a bit, and he never wanted to fully commit and engage there. But yeah, you could argue that maybe that game did kind of slip away from his fingers a little bit.
A little bit, and then he sort of re-grasped it. Kind of similar situation in game number 2, except his control was less solid when it comes to controlling the map. Obviously, he took a really nice lead with his Ling floods and his run-bys, but never underestimate the DTs, man, nor the Archons.
Yeah, the Ling run-bys were insane. As we saw, the DTs did kill a base. They didn't kill too many workers, if I recall. I think the massive worker kill was towards the end of the game. But, yeah. That was interesting how that game turned out, and we'll see what Strange has in store for us here. You know, I love the DT play. I doubt we're going to see that again.
Forge after Gateway. Now, I'm used to seeing a Forge this early on, and then immediately thinking, it's for cannon. So the Protoss player is going to turtle up, but there's no Stargate yet for Strange.
Exactly. So likewise, that's telling me that this should be for upgrades. As you said, typically we see a Forge alongside a Stargate for cannons instead, and there it is. There is that Robo. I'm really curious to see what this is going to go alongside. You know, +1 is typically paired up with Blink Stalkers or Charge Lots, one or the other. But we still don't see a Twilight Council, which is what is interesting to me.
It could, yeah. It could be an Immortal Stalker push, maybe, without Blink.
Yeah.
Which can still be very effective. Not as effective as it could be, but at least it hits quicker.
It does. And I'm feeling that as well, especially because the extra gases were taken. Because of that, it shouldn't be for charge lots, just because of the pure excess gas that he's going to be working with. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting, and as you said, it is going to hit relatively quickly, as, first Immortal's on the way.
Immortal's coming out.
Yeah.
Roachhorn gets thrown down by Elazer, which unfortunately isn't going to be as effective against the composition Strange is going for.
Yeah, exactly, but yo, we have a massive wave of Lings on the way. Jesus Christ, 20 Lings are on the way. They're going to be coming out, denying any kind of third base, but little does Elazer know that Strange doesn't intend to take a third base.
Well, he might pretty soon if he's got these third locations. He keeps his eyes there. Elazer will go in with his Overlord, confirms no Stargate, no Twilight Council, but a Forge and a Robo facility. Even sees the Immortals.
Yeah.
Robo Bay gonna get thrown down behind this.
Interesting. Okay, with the Robotics Bay, like, it does seem like Strange does want to expand and take a third. Oh, he has to be careful, though. Again, these are a lot of lanes. They're gonna get a wraparound!
Just like so, the force fields are unfortunately too late as the Lynx were already surrounding the entire army. Just like that, Strange is forced to retreat. Elazer doesn't quite want to press. There isn't much of an advantage for Elazer to press, but he does keep the pressure up on Strange. If things start to go awry across the map, he won't have a recall available unless he waits a long time.
Exactly. It's one of those things where, again, the goal of all these things that we saw earlier is to deny the third base, not to kill his opponent. That's a bit of a bonus. Yeah, they can if they get another wraparound like that. Like, there's no War Prism to keep anything alive.
No War Prism, no Blink. Force Fields are nice, but again, you really need to be on top of getting them at the right time in the right position.
Yeah, exactly. Elazer, he's shocking around. He wants that surround once again, the juicy one that we got earlier. Meanwhile, finally, Twilight Council's on the way. I feel like almost reluctantly by Strange, he's like, fine, I'll get it, I guess.
It's like, fine, I'll bring us to the mid-game.
Yeah.
I wanted to end the game earlier, man, but no. Apparently not. Apparently we have to play out the tier 2 of tech.
Yeah, and he has to be so careful as well. Like, it looked like he was like posturing a little bit, pushing out into almost the center of the map. But he has to be careful again, especially with all these lings. Like, one false move and Strange could lose everything.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with that disruptor. You don't want to have your purification over following the Lings, and all of a sudden the Lings are surrounding the rest of your army.
Yeah, and I'm getting a little bit of deja vu because, mate, we have a Hive on the way, and we have a Spire. It looks like Elazer, just like the previous game. Again, maybe it's his go-to. Maybe he just feels comfortable going Greater Spire against like Ground Toss. I'm just not convinced, mate. It just takes so long. I don't know, man.
Well, it does take quite some time, at this time I'm much preferring Elazer's defensive setup.
True.
I feel like that most of that has to do with the army composition of Strange more than anything Elazer's doing differently. But he has such a mobile defense force with all these links. He can keep Strange back for so long as he builds up his Brute Lord count. That's
the big difference, is that because there weren't any DTs to harass, like, Elazer's economy has been left perfectly fine. So now he's in a much better position to tech up, to take advantage of how passive his opponent is being, and get up to that high tier tech, that Hive tech.
And he's gonna get there pretty soon. TM Viper's coming out first. Elazer making sure that he's safe as he gets a Greater Spire.
Yeah, I love this. This does mean that if Strange does push out before the Broodlords are ready, he will be able to yoink those Disruptors and Colossus, neutralize them, and then he's going to have a much easier time against the ground army of Strange.
Yeah, these Robo units are really the only thing Elazer, sorry, has to worry about right now. Now the Archons are coming out, gonna be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, I think regardless though, like Elazer, I feel like he after the previous loss, he realized what he was missing, and that was the Viper. So like he is adapting. They do get scouted by Strange. He's well aware of the Vipers. And what is his response going to be? Is he still going to push out? Like he's making a War Prism, which signifies aggression to us, right?
Well, if you want to move out, now might just about be the time, or at least when Thermal Lance finishes up, because he also scouted the Greater Spire. He knows that Elazer is trying to tech up. If you can catch him in the middle of his transition, then that should just about be enough for Strange to take the map.
Well, that's the problem though, right? Because if he doesn't, well then we're gonna have some Broodlords, and then I don't think Strange can take it. So he's got to make a move soon, and he's going across now with the War Prism. It looks like only to harass, though. The main army is still staying here at home, and we need to see some Stargates. We need to see some Void Rays. We need to see an answer to the Broodlords.
Stalkers. He's going to
Oh,
what more of an answer do you want?
Oh no! Meanwhile, the Warp Prism,
good.
the Warp Prism got scattered by the Lings and the Roaches. So this Warp Prism is gonna get shut down. Will it finish the Warp Pit? Up.
Should just about, just barely, not enough Corruptus to prevent the Warp In, but what can Warp In really get done? Maybe kill a Queen, maybe kill a drone.
Oh, he got a Queen, he got a drone.
There we go. Alright. 1 for 1, not quite worth 6 so in my humble opinion.
Not quite. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of a run by here. Probably the biggest difference about this game is that Strange has secured his 4th base very, very well. I mean, it is Jagannatha, to be fair. We'll see if he can pull this off, because he's got Blink. He's going to have his upgrades as well for his Stalkers. It's very difficult to Blink under Broodlords, but it's not impossible.
It really isn't. Especially if you're able to, clear out a lot of these Lings, which Strange on 2 Colossus shouldn't have too much difficulty with. That's a lot of spike.
Wait. Elazer. Oh my god. It's just he just always wants the Protoss to push into it, mate. It's just his thing.
Well, that's why he keeps trying to go for run-bys.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It does. It's just a certain playstyle, you know?
It is, yeah. Exactly the most active playstyle.
Yeah, he's got run bys. He's active, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Might actually be able to pick up a Colossus just out of range of that shield battery. But there is enough to keep the army alive, the Colossus alive as well. Significantly weaker, though, by the time it makes its way across the map.
That it is. Meanwhile, the army of Strange is now pushing deep into creep. Elazer is looking to respond. He's got his spines. He's getting more spines, because of course he is.
Look, when you have a bank, you want to start clearing up your workers. You want to get a high army supply. May as well spend them on static D, right? The Colossus finally goes down. Every single Ling goes down as well, but they are the most expendable unit that Elazer's got.
That they are. Meanwhile, Strange is rotating around. He's clearing up a lot of creep, which I do like. Oh god, I hope he second guesses pushing into this again. He does spot all the spores. Spines even.
No hesitation.
None.
As he does push into this location. Blinks right on top of the Queens, right under the Broodlords as well, but hasn't quite been able to target them down.
Mate, the blinding clouds are insane. The majority of the Stalkers were not attacking whatsoever, but we do have reinforcing Stalkers coming in. He blinks onto the Broodlords, and he's focusing every single one of them down.
And he picks off, actually, a lot of them. Only 1 Broodlord remaining at the moment. The Vipers have used up all their energy.
My God.
Strange is doing it. He
Mate,
broke through the spine forest, and he kills that base.
He did it in the hardest way possible. He broke through the area with the most spines, which is the most insane. Even though he got blinding clouded, it didn't even matter, and he just takes down every single brood.
Look at a Blink right on top of that Broodlord too. There's no anti-air to prevent the Warpins. How many gateways does he have? 17? He's warping in 17 Stalkers at a time? GG is called. Strange takes that series? Strange takes that series?